Hey legends, welcome to another preview of some stuff that you actually covered last year. Okay, so I'm sure for some of you this will be very fresh, right? But for some of you, you'll also need to have a little look at this and then learn to apply it tomorrow. So we're going to look at the equation of a line. Whoops, I'm using pen and not the highlighter there. So we're going to look at the equation of a line, and in its simplest form, it's given as y is equal to mx plus b. Now, you might remember this sort of formation from Algebra 1. The m is always going to stand for the slope of a line. Sorry, I should have that done in blue, so you write it down. So it stands for the slope of a line. All right, slope is given by rise over run. And the b is our y-intercept. So our example here, we've got the equation 2y is equal to 6x minus 8. Now with the equation of a line, we want to get it into y is equal to mx plus b form. So how can we get the y by itself? Now a good step here would be to divide by 2. And if we divide by 2, that's going to get rid of the 2 in front of the y, because that's like 2 times y. And we have to do it to both sides of the equation. So here we'd end up with y is equal to 3x minus 8, where the 3 would be our slope, and this would be our y-intercept, which would of course be negative 8, and our slope would be positive 3 over 1. So the next section we're going to look at determining slope, which you're going to apply tomorrow. Now the first thing you always want to do is determine if your slope is positive or negative. Now, this always is determined by if your slope is going uphill from left to right. Okay, so if we come from left to right on our number plane and it goes up, that's a positive slope. One that's going down from left to right is a negative slope. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 points on the line or segment and simplify our slope when possible. So for our first one just here, we want to determine the slope of this line. So I'm just going to pick 2 points on the line. I'm going to pick this and this. All right, now let's go through our steps. Number 1, determine if your slope is positive or negative. If I came from the left-hand side, I would go uphill, so it's a positive slope. All right, and I picked 2 points, and now I want to get my rise over run. So I'm going to count up and across. My rise is 2, my run is 2, so it's positive 2 over 2, or 1. What about our second image? Is it a positive or a negative slope? This one is indeed a negative slope, because if I come from the left, I would go downhill, so I'm going to put the negative there straight away. Now, I now need to pick 2 points, and I'm going to pick this one, and I need to pick one that's on the grid nicely from there. Let's pick this one and just pretend it's very nicely on the grid. We've got 1 and 1. Okay, rise of 1, run of 1. So our slope here is negative 1. All right, might be slightly off because it's not exactly on the line, but we'll use that for now. All right, so that's how we obtain our slope on the coordinate plane. If we were going to turn these into equations, I could make my first one y is equal to x. Okay, it has plus nothing because the y-intercept is 0. And our other one over here would be y is equal to negative x, and it's cutting the y-axis at plus 1. All right, down the bottom you have a chance to get your slope of 3 different segments. All right, now please remember when you're getting slope, you're going left to right. It does not matter the order that the letters are in. All right, so for example, this segment here, CA, if I was to set it up, it's going uphill from left to right, okay? So from C to A, even if it was called AC, we would still read from left to right. So it's going up 5 and across 8, so it would be 5 over 8. All right, and indeed it's positive and we can't simplify it. All right, have a go at those next 2, and I will see you tomorrow for some more practice.